my guys was getting cut off real quick. In order for me to trust you and trust you to lead me in the direction that we're going in, is for me to know that you're going in the direction of God. Waking up with cramps is not where it's at. Like, Lord, what are we gonna do about these cramps? This has been going on for way too long. Like, what you gonna do? Come on, Lord. I need a breakthrough. Lord, I'm grateful for. Everybody say bless, bless, bless. You put the stars in the sky. Hear my and come running to me. And you said, you know it's true. Ooh. So one of the things I wanted to talk about was dating in the past versus what I think dating should be today. Thinking about my past, I don't think I went into relationships. I don't think I went into it with the spiritual aspect of it. I think I was going into it with what I thought was the spiritual aspect of it, as far as, does this guy believe in God? However, a lot of times, I don't think anyone I dated actually was a full-out Christian like that. Like, I can probably only remember one guy that seemed like he prayed a lot. But other than that, like, the guys that I actually like really dated, which have not been many, I think I was always uncomfortable because I knew that they were not going in the direction that I was going in. Ever since a young girl, like from a teenager till now, I've always wanted to be with someone who loved God, that was going in that direction. But today, there's a whole different meaning to what that is. And so I think at that time, I looked at it like, oh, okay, he said he believed in God, we good. Or he goes to church, we're good. But that means nothing. This led me to be uncomfortable a lot of times because I had already had my heart set on a guy that was a gentleman, that loved God first. That was what I wanted to see. So a lot of times I would date a guy and I would see that he overall seemed like a nice guy. And then they would say, oh yeah, I believe in God. But at that time, of course, they were a lot immature. So it was kind of like confusion over how mature should they be in their walk with God, being that we were so young. But then at the same time, I would be like, yeah, but I'm mature about it and I want to do things the right way and in order. And so because I've always known I was a wife, it led to my dating being very, I would say difficult, but I guess uncomfortable is the word I'm looking for, because I'm not dating you. Like, what are we? We need to figure out what this is. Either we want the same things or we don't. Like, I'm not anybody that's gonna be willing to be your girlfriend for years, which is the reason why I've never really been in a relationship. I've dated guys, but I've never actually been in a relationship. And that's why. Just very uncomfortable being a girlfriend. And a lot of times the guys, they were not serious in the first place to even be in a relationship. They weren't serious enough. Thankfully, I was protected from a lot because I have more of the personality of, once I see that we're not going in the same direction, I'm gone. And yes, I was the queen of letting people go. I don't feel bad about it. But even with that, I feel like I was still too nice.
Because some people that I dated and gave chances to should have never got a chance. Like that Tinder date, remember y'all, I told y'all about that story? The guy that lied and said that he was a single man looking for his wife and all the above. And it turns out he was engaged with a baby on the way. Yeah. So even that guy had red flags. So I was a little too nice. I had no business even dating that guy. But him versus some of the guys I dated in the past, there were always red flags. And I take accountability for that because I could have just immediately ran. And a lot of times I did run from red flags, but I could have ran a lot earlier than what I did. Over the years, this has done nothing but helped me gain wisdom, the wisdom that I need to be where I am today. When we talk about things like the red pill community, or you guys know when I was on the Melly Monaco show, and to me it was all for entertainment, but then there's a line of reality in it too as well, which is why I carried myself the way I did. As you can see, if you watch that, I don't really do well with worldly questions. When people want to have conversations with me about relationships and my personal life, it's just like, I'm just like, man, you're not gonna understand, because I belong to God. I've always belonged to God. I've always felt it, and I've always known that if that man does not have an actual, real relationship with God, then we're not gonna be able to be anything. And the reason why is because I'm not gonna have trust in that man. Now, most people like to look at that as, oh, she got trust issues. No. Because I've never had any real, like, deep trauma from any past dating relationships. So it wouldn't be because of a trust issue, like he cheated on me, I don't trust you. No, it comes from knowing for a fact that this man is not aligned with me. Because if you're saying you believe in God, but yet we're on conversation 4 and you have not incorporated God in anything that you're talking about, your life, family, anything, then I know right there he's playing the middle field. Another thing is us just not being on the same page as far as wanting the same things at the same time. I want to say every guy I've ever dated, none of them have ever been on the same page with me, wanting the same things at the same time that I have. That's really another reason why I never actually was in a relationship with them, because we don't even want the same things. So now I like you, but the trust is not able to be there because I know that you don't want the same things I want. And then I've had a few situations where the guys would say they wanted everything that I wanted, but their actions would not align. So if a man's actions are not aligning with what he said, then it's easy to notice that, okay, he's just trying to match me because he has another agenda. And so I've always detected that soon, and I would shut it down. So I don't know, today, it's almost 2024. I'm just thankful, and I just want to thank God for giving me a clear vision of what a man of God truly is. I'm not the woman and will never be the woman to say all men are the same or all men cheat, because I know for a fact that they are not. In fact, I've seen a few men lately that are sold out for Jesus, and they're not necessarily pastors, but they're just passionate about seeking a relationship with God. And it's a beautiful thing. Another thing, I just want to encourage single women that while you're waiting, make sure that you are also sold out for God, because once you get in that relationship, that's not going to be fulfilling if you're not already fulfilled by yourself. And what I mean is that God is first in your life before everything. You're thirsty for God. All you want to do is be led by Jesus, and you're wanting to know him better. So you're reading every day, you're praying every day. You have to get to that point by yourself to even develop not only the love for Jesus, but that love for yourself. And then once your eyes are focused on God, God will direct you and will bring, you know, because at the same time, he's working on you, he's working on that man for you, that husband for you also. So in the midst of that, you're working on you, focused on you, he's working on him, God's working on you. And then that union can be brought together with two people who are on the same page. As for me, that's the only way I'm gonna feel comfortable, is if that guy is living for Jesus and I can see it in his everyday life of everything that he's doing. Another thing that God gave me is strong discernment. As women, we already have intuition, but he's always shown me, thank you, Jesus, he's always shown me throughout my whole life the guys that were faking it versus those that were serious. And that is another reason why guys was getting cut off real quick, or I just stopped associating with people, because I realized I'm like, yeah, no, he's not, yeah, he's playing around. So I'm thankful for that. But anyway, it's nothing wrong with being single, but you have to become whole when you're single, because just think about when you get married, you're not gonna have as much time as we have now to spend with God. Once you get married and start having children, your schedule becomes very busy and you have to be very intentional about squeezing that time in with you and the Lord. So I've just been soaking up all this time I have with God and allowing him to guide me and show me what my purpose is in life, and just falling deeper and deeper in love with him. I've been just really taking advantage of that time to do that, because I already know it's gonna be very busy for those of you women who desire a mate. Really have to like make sure you're scheduling and setting your clock to to not forget to take some time out with God. This is just an encouragement. I just wanted to just go down memory lane of my dating in the past versus today. But now, because of my own relationship with God, I understand what an actual relationship really looks like. And I also learned that people can make their mouth say anything and mean nothing at the same time. With that being said, you have to look at people's actions and what they're showing you, because people will always show you exactly who they are. And a lot of times God is protecting us from the direction he doesn't want us to go down, because you have to remember God knows exactly what's for us. So he's not going to let his child fall into something that's a mess if the whole time you've been praying that God brings you a man that loves him first, that understands that in order for a relationship to last, we're going to have to start with a foundation, a strong foundation, a godly foundation, or it's not going to work out. That's why we have all these Hollywood relationships aren't working out, because there is no spiritual foundation. They're not serving God. They're in the world. So it's very important that that's incorporated not only just in your life, but in your relationship life as you are picking your spouse. And this is for the men too, because I believe the man that findeth the wife, that's what I believe. You got to get yourself together first before you go out here seeking a woman, because if you don't get yourself together, a lot of men in my dating experience, they suffer with sexual perversion. And so if that's what you're caught up in and you haven't got yourself together first, you're gonna keep attracting the wrong type of woman and selecting the wrong type of woman. And so it's important for men to get their stuff in order too, because you want to choose right. Just like one thing that came to me recently was, we have to put ourselves in the environment of the type of people we want to connect with. Go to some of the faith-based conventions and church functions and different things like that. Go to that, because if you're looking for someone that you want to have a relationship with God, the possibilities of you meeting that type of man that's sold out for Jesus, or woman, is gonna be you trying to place yourself in those places where those type of people will be. But I do think it makes sense to place yourself in that, because we have grown up, y'all. We grown now. And we can't keep playing these same games, being too nice and, oh, well, he seems nice. Seeming nice is not gonna be enough for the man that you wanna marry and spend the rest of your life with. And in order for me to trust you and trust you to lead me in the direction that we're going in, is for me to know that you're going in the direction of God, because that's the direction I'm going in. So any man that's going in that direction, I can follow him. So in the meantime though, enjoy your singleness, because I know I'm enjoying mine, and I am loving the things that God is showing me. This has not been the easiest season for me, just in my life overall. This has been a very testing season in my life, but I trust everything that God is doing inside of me, because I know that He is building me up and making me stronger, so that I can be able to handle whatever is coming next in life for me. So I thank y'all for coming back and chilling with your girl, and I will see you all in the next vlog. Make sure you're subscribed.